As ATVers, we expect our bikes to stand up to all the abuse we put them through, and we figure as long as we follow the minimum requirements for maintenance as outlined in our owner's manuals, we're not going to have any problems. But minimum maintenance is just that, minimum. Highway truckers know you have to be vigilant with your maintenance, so they go over their trucks before every trip. As ATVers, there are a few things you should check out before every ride as well. The first things you should be checking on your ATV, and by far the things that'll wear out the fastest, are your fluids. The way your ATV engine operates is no different than your car's, but the environment it's operated in is far more harsh. It's much easier than you might think for contaminants to get into your fluids and start causing serious issues. Simply removing the radiator cap and having a look, or the oil dipstick and checking the color, consistency, and condition of the oil will go a long way. But it'll also tell you whether or not you need to do a complete oil or coolant change before it's scheduled, something that can extend the life and performance of your motor by a lot. Next, give your brakes a once-over. Visually inspect the pads or check the cable for looseness. If your brakes are getting worn out, pick up a new set of pads or at least know to keep an eye on them. Furthermore, don't ignore your brake discs. They do wear down as well and can negatively affect braking performance as much as worn pads can. Think about it. Your brakes spin at high RPM and are subject to all the crud and grime that your bike has run through. After a run through some really gritty mud, your brakes are basically being sanded down at 50 miles an hour on the way home. When you're done looking at your brakes, take a second to visually inspect and throw a pressure gauge on your tires. Having your tires inflated to the correct pressure not only helps with proper ride and handling, but it also keeps the wheels spinning smoothly, in balance, and running cool. Believe it or not, improper air pressure can affect more than just the tires. Having a tire that's got too low air pressure can cause that tire to sag, affecting the whole suspension geometry and causing premature wear on joints and bushings. High pressure causes added stress on the suspension components as well, because the tire soaks up less of an impact from the ground, transferring it to the suspension. Visually inspecting the tread and sidewall can alert you to a possible tear or leak before it becomes a bigger problem on the trail. Probably the quickest wearing part in your ATV are the steering tie rod ends. Now these little links are what hold everything together and they're packed with grease, but they do still wear out, causing looseness and slop in your steering, and eventually they'll fail, leaving you stranded. The easiest way to check your tie rod ends is to simply grab your handlebars and give them a wiggle. If you feel excess looseness in the bars or hear clicking noises, it's probably your tie rod ends. Some have a fitting and can be greased, others simply need to be replaced. Whatever the case, get them changed soon. The last thing you need to take a look at when checking over your ATV is your air filter. This is easily one of the most overlooked maintenance items. It's also one of the easiest to check and maintain if needed. The air filter is responsible for keeping accumulated junk out of your engine. If it's too clogged, your engine can't breathe and will work harder. This not only affects performance, but can prematurely wear out the internals of your engine, cutting its life expectancy. Maintaining your ATV isn't something you do just once a year when you pull your bike out of storage or just when the manufacturer's owner's manual says you should. It's an ongoing process, and staying on top of the basics will help ensure your ATV is ready to go whenever you are.